Hello everyone, this is Professor Maloney and today I'm going to be doing an Excel MindTap demonstration video. Similar to what I did with Word, I'll go ahead and demonstrate each of the 4 module trainings, but I'll only do 4 or 5 tasks from each, and I'll remind you over and over again that you can do these tasks from the apply mode, which is the default mode, which you have to do. But if you don't know them, you can also go back and do them with either the observe or the practice to then help you get everything right, okay? And then do it with the apply once you understand what you're doing. Also, as I said with Word, there's an awful lot of tasks. Now with Word, I believe there were 126 total tasks when you considered the four training modules. With Excel, I want to say it's like 135, maybe even 145 tasks. So it's a lot, right? Plus you have to do your projects as well. So, and of course, material-wise, Excel is much more challenging than Word. I mean, for most people anyway, all right? So I'm just gonna hop right to it, all right? So I'm gonna take the video off me and get over here and share my screen. And I shall share my entire screen and allow, and make that go away. And then here. All right, so I've already opened up my, what I call my test account, so don't worry about this one too much. Sometimes I may have told you guys about it, may not have, but anyway, so in Excel, module 1, I want my training, and I'm just going to start it, and I'll go ahead and go through 5 or so tasks, all right? All right, so the first one, pull this thing up here. Center the contents of cell C3 horizontally. All right, so cell C is the columns, and well, let me just say again, I did this in my orientation overview for Excel, but you know that the column headings are letters. They start with A and then go B, then go all the way to Z, then it's AB actually, which I never showed you, then AC, AD, all the way to AZ, then BA, BB, BC, all the way to B. There's thousands of cells is the bottom line. But so the columns are what we refer to the cell with first, and then the row numbers are the numbers. So like right now, I'm in B1. Right now, I'm in C2. So it's column C, row 2. Right now, I'm in F19. And of course, there's a name box that tells us all this as well. All right. But anyway, so center the contents of cell C3 or horizontally. So I go to C and 3, click the cell. So now I'm in cell C3, and they just want me to center it horizontally. Well, that's in the alignment group, and obviously this is left aligned, this is right aligned, so this is the center or the horizontal, center, all right? So I click it, and it's done, all right? Now that one won't take you a whole lot of notes to be able to do, but some of these it will. And this is, remember, only module 1 anyway. So now, hide grid lines in the current worksheet. Now here they're not talking about a cell. So they want me to do something for the whole worksheet. And the worksheet's called income statement. Hide grid lines. So every time you're in a cell, you see 4 borders. Like it's a rectangular look. But there's a top border line, a bottom border line, a left border line, and a right border line for every cell. Okay. If you hide the grid lines, then you don't see the grid lines, these lines. Okay. I never hide the grid lines because to me, the whole point of Excel, you want to see all the individual cells. But anyway, here's what you do. All right. So I go into my view. Okay. And over here in the show is grid lines. It's got a check mark by default. And as I hover, you see these things that just seemingly showing you something about what, anyway, I'll just take it off, okay? And now if you look real quick before it goes, all the grid lines were gone, okay? If I just open up another Excel file, is this one still open? What is that one? Okay, here. So this is, oh wait, no, this is what I'm doing right now, is it? I don't even know. Which one am I? Is that? Excel module 1. Yeah, that's where we're at because I just did the grid lines. Okay, so here, the next one, task 3, use the tell me box. Okay, the tell me is up here. Okay, to change the fill color of cells in range B4 to D4 to black text 1, theme colors of cells in range B4 to D4, black text 1. So theme colors, top row, second option. Now, the way I do this, it's in the font group, right? You see this one here with yellow, that's the fill color. That's the default on fill color. So if we wanted to do it, what I would do is come over here. So you see, use the tell me. I'm not doing the tell me. I'm just telling you what I would do, and then we'll see if it works though. Change the fill color. So first we got to do the range though. Otherwise we get it wrong even if we get the answer right. So we got to go to B4 to D4. Okay, so here is B4. I click it and hold down the left mouse and drag to the right to C4 and to the right one more time to D4. So now I've selected B4 to D4. Okay, so that's what you have to do. And we want black text 1, which is theme colors, top row, second option in the fill colors. So I'm going to go here. Okay, top row is theme colors. Okay, so theme colors, top row. Second option is black text 1. It's this one. Okay, so I can do it this way. Okay, so they're letting me do it that way. Now I'm going to go back and see if I can do it the way they asked us to do it. So let me go back to 3. And see if I can just go to tell me and I guess type fill colors. Fill color. Fill color. Let's see. Fill color. Fill color. Oh, this way is what they wanted. Interesting. Let me select it first. That, and then go in here to tell me. Fill color. And then, oh, okay, so when I do that, it pops it up. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that. So now I'll do it the way they told me to. So tell me, I typed fill color, and then the directional arrow to here. And yeah, okay, so that's the way they wanted it done. I got you. All right, so that's number 3. So here. So the fill color is pretty easy. View grid lines or hide grid lines, that's pretty easy. The first one was very easy, and this one is just select cell D22. So here's D, here's 22, so here's D22. Once I click it, it'll appear in the name box, but it'll immediately say that I've done it, so it'll be over. So D and 22, done, okay? And I said I would do 5 for each. So here, in cell J5, so here's J, and here's 5. Let me move this a bit. Okay. In cell J5, enter the value 77112 as text using the keyboard or the keypad. All right. All right. So when you type in 77112, of course, that's a number, right? And that's the whole point of Excel is, for the most part, we're using formulas to manipulate data, and the data is mainly numbers. When you want to enter like a zip code, zip codes are numbers, but they want us to treat it as text so that we can't do formulas with them. Because if 78702 is a zip code for whatever city, 60605 is in Chicago, 78702 is in Austin, Texas, etc., but they're not numbers. Okay, so they want us to enter this number here in cell J5 as text. All right. So the only way, or what you do to create a number as text is you start it with a single quote. The single quote is the button just to the left of the enter key. It's got a single hyphen, I guess you call it a hyphen, on the lower part of the key, and then a double quote on the top part of the key. We want the lower, so I just just click on that, okay? And now up here, you might see right there on my computer, that's a hyphen, the single quote. And now I just type my number, 7777112. So single quote 77112. The number will look like this, but they're going to have these little green marks that you see in all these other ones down here, which basically is telling us it's an error, but it's not really an error because we're purposefully at text. All right, so single quote 77112 and enter. Okay, and that's done. So if I did that on another Excel sheet, we could observe the same thing, but that's what it's doing. All right. All right. So that is 5. So now I'm going to shut this one down and go to number 2. All right. So get out of that. Remember, if you shut it down, you should always go and do your work, meaning not your work, but go ahead and do your save so that when you come back to it, it's all there. So there were 38, I think, tasks right there in that one. Okay, here there's 23. So that means so far for the first 2 modules in Excel, there are 61 tasks. All right, here, wrap the text in cell A6 so that all the text is visible in the cell. So here's the A column, here's the 6th row, so here's A6. And again, once you click it, verify it's in the name box. It is. All right, so I'm in A6. And in the formula bar, you see what it is. It's Anderson Wireless Communications, but we can't see it all. But they want it all to appear in this cell without us making the cell wider. So what it's going to do is make the cell taller so that the word communications will appear under Anderson Wireless, but still in row 6, not meaning to move it to row 7. Okay? So wrap text is very simple. It's in the alignment area. It's on the top, and it's wrap text. You hover on it and it does that. So it's saying A, B, and C was next to B, but that with wrap text, it's wrapping the extra long text into multiple lines so you can see all of it. That's what I want. So click it, and there you see Anderson Wireless Communications now. All right? All right, next one. Now this is module 2, right? Yeah, module 2, task 2. So use flash fill to fill range E4 to E15 after typing curtis.g at rockland.com in cell E4 and Sal in cell E5. So cell E4 is where I'm going to be typing, okay? E4, so an email address. Okay, Curtis G. You see, last name is Curtis, first name is G for Glenn. So they want me to type curtis.g at rockland.com in this cell. And then they want me to enter that. So then the next time I'll be in E5 and they want me to just type Sal, and Sal is short for Salazar. So what they're saying is when I type S-A-L, then the whole name will probably pop up. All right? All right, and that's flash fill. Remember I demonstrated the fill handle to you in the class overview video and also the little demonstration I did in class after that video a couple days ago. So the bottom right of this cell, and I'll tell you when I'm hovered on it right now, this is just a regular cursor, okay? When I'm in the bottom right, there you see it's a thin black plus sign. I'm on top of the fill handle. The fill handle is used to drag down to either copy formatting or to copy values or to extend, make a trend with some numbers that you may have, like as an example, the number 3 and the number 5 in 2 different cells. And if I did that, if I select both cells, and then take the fill handle and go down after 3, then 5, then the next one it shows 7, the next one 9. It would just keep the same trend. But here anyway, it's flash fill. So here's what I do. All right. So curtis.g. The big thing when you're doing these is to type with the right spelling and of course the right case as well. So curtis.g at rockland.com. All right. Make sure that Curtis has a capital C. It does. Make sure you put a period after Curtis. I did. Make sure you put a capital G. I did. And then at rockland.com. So that's done. And now I enter to go down to now E5. See, it says that was E4. And in E5, I'm typing S-A-L with a capital S. So S-A-L, okay? And see all that, the rest of it is already coming because of flash fill. Flash fill makes the assumption that everything I did above, I'm going to do down below, basing it on the new names. So this one was Curtis, the whole last name goes. So here the whole last name goes, Salazar. Dot A, it's just the first letter. Dot G, it was the first letter. So here dot P, it's the first letter for the first name. And dot T, etc. Okay, so that's what that does. So that is number 2. Did I enter it? I don't even know if I entered it. Okay, I entered it now. So that's done. Next one. Enter a formula using arithmetic operators and parentheses in cell B14 that adds the monthly expenses in cells B9, 10, and B9, B10, and B11, and then multiplies that result by 12. right? So first thing is, you see, it's quite a bit of stuff, but it's simple stuff. It's just easy calculations. So the first thing is, where do we want to be? They're telling us in cell B14. So go to B14 first. There's B14 right there. Okay, so look in the name box. Yeah, I'm in B14. All right, so they're saying using arithmetic operators. The arithmetic operators are just what we're doing because we're going to be doing math. Every formula in Excel starts with an equal sign. So the first thing we type is the equal. Okay, so equal sign means we're typing a formula. So, all right, I'm in B14. They want me to add the monthly expenses in cells B9, B10, and 11, get a total of that, and then multiply that result by 12. So here's how we do that. It's called the order of operations. So what I'm going to do is equal sum. They may or may not want me to use SUM. They may just want me to do the equal sign and then do it, but I'm going to do it this way just to see, because they did say and parentheses. When you use the equal sum, then you have to start the formula with parentheses. So I'm thinking that's why they want me to do it this way. So equal sum, open parentheses, and now they just want me to add up B9, B10, and B11. So I click B9 and drag down to B11, and now the formula shows B9 colon B11. That means B9, B10, and B11. In other words, it's from B9 to B11. So it shows as a colon when you do it this way. Okay. Now we had an open parenthesis at the beginning of it, so now I have to have a closing parenthesis. So with the order of operations, what would happen if I would have done B9 to B11, and then if I would put the rest of it, and then an asterisk for multiply, and then the number 12, it would multiply B11 times the number 12, because order of operations, multiplication is higher than addition, okay? But when you do an open and close parentheses, then anything within the parentheses are done first. So here, what's going to happen is it's adding 15,000 plus 6,600, so that's 21,600, and then adding 40 to that. So 21,640 is this. And then it would multiply it times with, so the asterisk sign is the multiplication, and then 12. So it would then multiply 12 times whatever I just said, 21,640. So 10 times 21,640 is 216,400. 216,400, that's 10. And then we need another 2 times it. So that's another 42,400 or so. So it's in the neighborhood of, I don't even know, 212, 214, 214 and 40, we'll say. So about 264 and something, ending in probably an 80. All right, but either way, it's something like that. So, but this formula is it. Equal sum, open parentheses, B9 to B11, close parentheses, asterisk, which means times. And the 12 is only here because it rolled over because there's not enough room. If this thing was wider, then it would be on the same row. All right, so enter. And you see it's, okay, 259,680. That's what the answer ended up being. But bottom line is we did it correctly. All right, so now, this is number 4. I'm going to do 5 in each, right? So 2 more in this one. In cell B19, so here's B, go to 19. Create a, and again, verify it's in the name box. So I'm in B19. Create a formula by entering cell references that subtracts B6 from B5 and then subtracts cell B18. So they want me to just do, since they're all subtraction, I don't need to have open and close parentheses. Now, they may want me to do it, but I don't see the term parentheses anywhere. So I'm going to assume in this case, they want me to just type equal, okay? And then what's the first one? So entering cell references that subtracts B6 from B5. So it's B5 minus B6 and then minus B18, all right? So equal, B5 is the first one. So click on B5, all right? So that's that. And then put a minus, that's the dash. And then you're subtracting B6 from B5, so you click on this one, B6, okay? Now, we've done that, but then they want us to subtract cell B18. So now we do another minus, and then we click on B18. So the formula is equal B5 minus B6 minus B, that's not an 8, it's a B, 18, all right? Now, I could have done it with equal sum, open parentheses, B5 minus B6 minus B18, close parentheses, and that is officially perfectly fine. I don't know if they would have accepted it in this particular case, but for sure it's exactly right. This is exactly right. Okay. All right. So I'll enter, and that took. All righty. So now number 5 in module 2. All right. Let's see. In cell D19, so here's D, here's 19. Create a formula using the count function to count the number of variables, to count the number of values in the range D5 to D18. In other words, they want to know how many numbers are in here, not what the sum is, like not 11 and 10 is 21 and 9 is 30 and 9 is 39 and 7 is 46 and 7 is 53 and 6 is 59, 64, 68, 71, 73, 75, 76, 77. Not that. How many? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 14 different values. So that's what they expect. The count does that. All right. So I go down here, and then I go to my auto sum, which is this, and I pick count numbers. Okay. And when you do that, it puts what we call a rolling marquee. And the rolling marquee just means it's like Excel talking to you. Excel is saying, I think you want to know the count of all the value, not all the like the numbers, but how many numbers are there? Not the sum of the numbers, but how many are there in the range from D5 down to D18? And I say, yeah, that's what I want. So I enter, and it's 14. Okay. All right, so that's module 2. That's 6 there. All right, so get out of that. And again, you would save it because obviously you're doing the work. And then module 3, remember this is my test. This is summer because I created this thing in the summer. Okay. All right, so this thing here, your due dates are either November 1 or November 2. Let's see, you're a Monday, Wednesday class. So that means your exam for the next thing is for Excel is it's either on the 1st or the 3rd. I think it's on the 3rd, which means everything is due on the 2nd, but I'm not positive. Okay, anyway, so now let's start number 3, and I'll do 5 more. And then I'll do 5 and okay, this one is 44. Shoot, where was I? 38 and 23, 61. So now we're at 105 total tasks, and we still have module 4 to go. So we may have more tasks than in Word. Anyway, all right. Let's see. Task. Rotate the contents of the cells in the range A3 to D3. So in this case, they want us to click on A3 and drag. So click it and drag to the right to B, and then to C, and then to D. They want all 4. See, they said rotate the contents of the cells. Don't worry about the text yet. First, we're doing what they want us to select. So A3 to D3, they for sure want selected. Now we go, okay, so they want to rotate the contents to an exact 45-degree angle. If you look up here, this thing here is called orientation, and that thing in blue is an arrow. And right now, actually, that arrow is pointing at 45 degrees. So what these words will be, client ID, company name, sales to date, and years as client. These headings, these heading values will have this kind of an angle after I do this, okay? All right, so rotate, and by the way, I could just click it and it would do that, but because they're telling me they want certain things, I'm not gonna do it that way. Instead, I'm gonna do the down arrow. So rotate the contents. I've done A3 to D3, yes. So they want 45 degrees. So let me just do my down arrow. Let's see. See, this does the 45 automatically. This one here is, let's see, so 90, this would be like 135 because it's 45 and 45 and 45. It's the opposite side of angle, but we don't want that. We don't want vertical rotate. We don't want any of that. So we want to go in here to play with other things. So I'm going to open that. Okay. Now they want me. So we have the cells A3, B3, C3, D3. And we want to now rotate it to 45 degrees. So here's where we are. The thing in red, that's like 0. Okay. 45 is this thing here. Okay. See how they're telling us. They're telling us it's 3 points up and to the left of the 0. Well, I don't know what the left of 0 is because this is the 0, but they're not. It's not listed as 0, but that's probably what they mean. But 3 points. See, 1, 2, 3. So this is 45 right here. And for sure it is. I know that. Now I could just double click on the 0 and type 45. I don't know if they would allow it though. And again, on tests, I don't know what they allow either. So you have to get used to what they make you do, because that's what the test would be, assuming this particular task was on the test. So I'm going to click right here. And once I do, you're going to notice this 0 will be 45. Whoops, 46. Oh, yeah, that's no good. Okay, 45. Be careful if you do it that way then. So again, we could have typed 45, but I don't know if it would have allowed. I assume it would have. Okay. All right, what else? So 3 points up. So again, that's 1 point, 2 points, 3 points up. And to the left of the 0, this is really what they mean when they say left of the 0, because if you're looking at it from a side angle, this is to the left, this would be to the right. So I think that's what they're trying to tell us, but it's confusing. But bottom line is it says 45 degrees, and that's all I got to do. So say OK, and that's correct. All right, so that is number 1 for module 3. All right, this one. Align the contents of cell B4 vertically using the bottom align. So B, okay, see the text here on company name is way up high. Let's compare. See, email address is on the bottom. Phone, street, city, state, zip. These are all on the bottom. This you can't tell because there's so many words. This you can't tell because it's a lot. This you can't tell. This you can't tell. This you can't tell. But this you can tell is at the top, and they don't want it at the top, right? So they want bottom align. So for that, we go to alignment, and it's these things here. This one is the top align, which is what they're currently using. This one here would be the, this one here would be the middle align, and then this one here would be the bottom align. So that's the one they want. So make sure we're in the right one, B4. There's B4. And we want bottom align. Done. And move to the bottom. All right, that's 2. So now we're on number 3. Here, use the autofill feature to fill the range A4 to A15 with the names of the months in chronological order, starting with January in cell A4. So first here, I got to be in A4. So A4, name box shows A4. Now, I demonstrated this in class on the overview of Excel video a couple of days ago. So this one here is just going to affirm that knowledge that I gave you the other day. So I type January, and they want it capital. Anything on a test, make sure you do it exactly the way they do. And a lot of you guys, young people, you don't capitalize anything. You need to start capitalizing everything. Just, pay attention, remember, is what I say, or I used to say in this class. 2 words I'd say is what you got to always do. Pay attention. So if they type something like this, first of all, you got to spell it right. Like if you don't spell January correct, then it can't make the fill handle make the next one say February and the next one say March and then April, May, all the way down to December. Okay? You spell it right, and then uppercase, meaning capitalize the J. And then that way February will have a capital. If I made a small J, then February would have had a small f, and March would have a small m, etc. Anyway, so when you type it, then you enter it. Now it's set. And then you come back to it. Then you do the fill handle. Remember, the fill handle is that little thin, little green square. It's like a separate green square in the bottom right tip of that corner, the bottom right side of the corner. When you see the fill handle, which is the thin black plus sign, which is what I'm on right now, drag it down. And it tells you to the right of that fill handle marker, March, April, May. You can go fast. You can go way down if you want and do it again, but they want us to stop there. See, they said the range A4 to A15. This is A4. This is where I started, and then you go down to A15 and let go, and now they're all there. Okay. All right. Number 4. Fill the series in the range B5 to F5. So B5 to F5. Fill in the range using a growth trend with a step value of 1.1. Okay, so I see that's 2019, 2020. What they're saying is they want us to have, or this is like a projection, right? It's like a future sales projection for a branch. So I guess it's for a bank, for whatever. And they want us to have the first value is 85,000. They want the next one to be 110% of that, 1.1 times that. So in other words, you would add 8,500 to 85,000. So that would then get it to 93,500. Okay, so this one should be 93,500. Then they want another 10%. So 93,500 would then add 9,350 to 93,500. This one's too hard for me. So 93,500 and 9 is 102,500, and 350 is 102,850. Okay, so 102,850 would be this one. I don't want to guess anymore. So 102,850 and 93,500. Remember them. Anyway, so what I have to do is do it now. So fill in the series. So we have to go to, here's a fill. Okay, so we go to fill, down arrow. And again, it's not down, right, up, left. That just means which direction you're going. We just care about to do something, and it's a series. Okay, they're telling us fill the series. So click series. Move this. All right, so they want a growth trend, so growth, okay? And they want a step value of 1.1. Now, what did I say? 93,500, and then I said we're adding 9, which makes it 102,500, and we're adding 350 to the 5, which makes it 102,850, I think it said, all right? So 93,500 and 102,850. Here we go. 102,850 and 93,500, yes! But I didn't do the 113. Anyway, so let's go back and look at that one again, though. That was kind of hard, and I didn't focus on it. I mean, because I was trying to do the math. Where am I? Go back. Let's go back to number 4. Okay, so let's see, what do we want? So they told us, first thing is, always look for what they want. Here's what they want us to do, something with these cells. So you start in B5 and you click with your left mouse to go to F5. So now we've done B5 to F5, all right? So that's done. Then they want us to do a growth trend, and they tell us fill in the series. So they give you a little hint. So here's the fill, and like I said, it's a series, so it's this. And then they told us growth trend, so the word growth, and a step value of 1.1. But you know what? Now I see trend here. I don't think I put a check mark next to that trend. See what happens if I do. Okay, so it grays it out. I think maybe that, well, I mean, that obviously takes it away because I can't do it anymore, even though I just set the value for 1.1. Maybe that's why they didn't have me do that, but I didn't notice the first time that it's got that word. I'm going to just try it just to see. So trend, 1.1, growth, and rows. Okay, yeah. So they didn't want that for some reason. All right, and if you get it wrong, it looks like they leave it where, oh shoot, I was going to say where you were, but I just clicked. Okay, so now I got to do it again. So you again click in in B5 and drag to F5. Then you go to fill, then series, and now we look at the rest of the instructions. So I'm in B5 to F5. They all have that green border around them. Okay, so that's done. They want a growth trend. So here's the word growth. Okay, so they want that, and they want a step value of 1.1. So put a point and a 1. And then we say OK. And then it puts the trend out there. Okay. All right. Then the last one for module 3. Use autofill to fill the range. Fill range D12 to D19 with D11. So you really have to go D11 in this case to D19. So D11 to D19. Let me look at this closer. So use autofill. Maybe I should actually start here. Let's see. Use autofill. I'm in D11. and I want just fill. I think you gotta actually, you know what? I did it this way. That's not right. But what you got to do is take the fill handle. So remember, excuse me, the fill handle is the thin black plus looking thing, which is what I'm on right now, right? That little thin corner green separate square is what I got to click on. That's the fill handle. And then this is the fill handle cursor, the thin black plus line. So now drag down. Okay. So now I've selected them and I did that. But see now, because there was only one number up there, the fill handle doesn't have any idea what to do. So it just copies everything. Okay. But they only want the copy, the formatting. So that's why it's not done yet. Okay. So then this thing down here, which popped up after I did this. See, look. Oh, wait, maybe not. I don't think that was there. Anyway, let's see. So let's make sure D11. So D11, and then I'm going to take it from D12 to D19. So down, 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 down. Ah. Let's do that again. That. Oh, okay, no, they don't want it that way. Let's see. So here, fill range. Oh, I think because this part's already done, they're marking it wrong because I haven't done this part yet. Okay, so I got to come in here. Yeah, okay. That's silly. So I'm going to go back because it's too confusing because they left part of what I did. So let's go back so that we see it again. So not that one. And then let's go back to that, this one. Okay, so now I'll start at the very beginning again. So use autofill to fill the range D12 to D19 with the formatting only from D11. So we for sure start D11 and we take our fill handle. For sure we do this, okay? Then once we release it, it's doing what a normal fill handle does, okay? But there are options, and to get to the options, we do this. We click the down arrow next to this auto option, fill handle options or whatever it was called, and they said with only the formatting. So we want to fill formatting only. So once I click this, now it changes the way we want, which basically all they wanted us to do was copy that $sign all the way down. Okay, that's all we did. All right, so that is on 6, and now we've done 5 from 1, 5 from 2, 5 from 3. So remember, we also were at 61, now it's 105, and there's one more to go. So now module 4. Okay, module 4, training. So we're at 105, and now 30. Wow, 135. I'm pretty sure with Word there were 126, so it's even more. Okay. Anyway, all right, let's see. Group the October, November, and December worksheets. So here there are worksheets, okay? And there's also Q4, so quarter 4. But they only want us to do this with October, November, and December. So what I do first to group these is click on October, okay? And then either click Control in November to keep the Control key down and Control in December, or click in October. Now it's not going away. Okay, click in October and then do the shift to December. Let me ungroup. I did that on purpose just to, anyway. All right, so click on October and then push your shift key down and click December. Now they're all grouped, okay? And when they're grouped, you'll see the word group up here, and that's what we're doing. So, all right, so now we grouped them. You can see that they have that green border underneath it, underneath October, underneath November, and underneath December. That means they're all selected, even though it may be hard to know. The October being in green, that means that's the one we're actually seeing. So this is October, but the green border under November and under December means they're grouped. So we have all 3 of these, but we're using October to then do something for the others. All right, so group October, November, and December worksheets done. Then in B9 on the October, I'm in October, so then B9, okay, so now I'm in B9. use the auto sum button. We did the auto sum button on day 1 of Excel. Oh, excuse me. So the auto sum button, and they want us to total the values in range B6 to B8. Well, when you're in B9, it'll automatically do these. Okay, so here's the auto sum, and we want sum. So if I click sum, it's going to give us this rolling marquee. Again, it's Excel talking to us. It's saying, I think you want to get the sum of the numbers in B6, B7, and B8 and put the answer in B9. Yep, that's what I want to do. So I enter that. So now I'm happy. So now that's done. So we grouped October, November, and December. They say that they are grouped right here. Then in cell B9, we were in B9. We used the auto sum. We did that. And we got that total. Okay. Now ungroup the worksheets and switch to the November worksheet. So 2 more steps. So to ungroup the worksheets, in my mind, if I just click November, it would ungroup it. But based on how difficult it was for me to try to do this, the control and the other, it didn't seem to. So I'm going to right click on October. Excuse me. And click ungroup sheets. Okay, so ungroup sheets. Now they're ungrouped. See, we don't see a green border under November and a green border under December anymore. All right, so ungroup, and now switch to the November worksheet. And when I switch to November, even though they're not going to stay there, basically this formula is going to also be in November. It'll have different numbers, but it'll be the same formula. So number, and see here's November, it's got 53,000. So that was number 1 in module 4. All right, now let's see. In cell B6, so here is B and here is 6. Okay. Enter a formula using defined names to subtract direct costs, which is cell B5, from revenues, which is B4. Okay. All right. So in this name box, what we're going to see is that there's a name called direct costs, and there's another one called revenues. Watch. See, normally you're only in whichever cell, but there's a direct costs, and if I click it, it'll tell me where it is. See, this thing here is direct costs. It has that green border now. If I click the other one, revenues, it's going to move from this one probably to revenues right here. It'll move to that one. Okay, so revenues, see, that's now selected. All right, so some people make named cell addresses to represent certain things that the spreadsheet is doing to make it easier for people to look at it to understand what's happening. Like it's easier for most people to say revenues minus direct cost equals gross profit, okay, or whatever. So what they're telling us though, so go to B6, so that's B, and here's 6. All right, so we're in 6. Now they want us to do the formula using the defined name. So instead of clicking B5 and then saying, wait, subtract that from, okay, so instead of saying B4 minus B5, they want us to say revenues minus direct costs. And remember, it's a formula, so we do an equal sign. So equal. And now I have to type revenues. So when you start typing it, it'll then pop up because it's already a name. So then just double click it to make sure it goes there. So now it's equal revenues, which is B4, and we want to subtract direct costs. So I have to say a minus, that's a dash, and type DI. All right, so type DI and then direct costs pops up. So now I have that, and the formula is equal revenues minus direct costs. See, that formula-wise, to most people, makes more sense than saying equal B4 or equal B4 minus B5. But anyway, when I enter it, it should take it, and it did. All right, so that's number 2. Now, share the current workbook. So this is a workbook, okay, with user one, on OneDrive with user1@cengage.com and add the message, please approve for distribution with the emailed worksheet, emailed workbook link. All right, so we're basically typing a note to the boss. Please approve what I've done. That's more or less what, and that's what, of course, people in the real world do. The boss tells them what to do, and we do it, right? All right. All right, so let's see. So share it on OneDrive. So you go to your file menu, file, and we want share, okay? So file share, we want to share it with user1@cengage.com. So anyone with the link? No, we want this person. So let's see. People in your organization? No. People with specific people. Only with this. See, with that. So specific people. Okay. Specific people. Okay, then apply. And then who people you specify can edit. Oh, shoot. Okay, let me try again. All right, so people you specify. Okay, I have to type it. Yeah, so user1@Cengage. So user1, and you have to again type it the way they do. If you don't, it'll be wrong on a test. So like, meaning you have to have a capital U because they have a capital U. You have to have lowercase ser, the number 1, and then lowercase cengage.com after the @ So everything like that. Okay, so we did that. So we specified who, and it's user1. We have to add a message. I think we click on the user. Yeah, and then there's a message. So message is please approve for distribution, and they did not put a period. It's very important to do exactly what they do. If they put a period, we have to put a period. How do I know? Because after the letter N in distribution, they put a space basically. Not the space, well, there's 2 spaces. So after the letter N in distribution, there's a space which tells me they are purposefully not putting a period. Okay? Otherwise, the period would be there in that little darker gray area. That's just to the right of letter N. So we have to do exactly like them. Remember that on tests. Pay attention. So please approve for distribution and then send, I guess. Okay, so let's do that one again. Let's see, number 3. All right, so we're going to share this workbook on OneDrive. So we go to File, and we're going to do the word share in the navigation menu, share. So now we have that. And now we're going to move this. So who are we sharing it with? There's choices. So you click this thing here and it tells us. Anyone with the link? No. People in your organization with the link? No. People with existing access? No. It's specific people. Why? Because it says share it with, and it only lists that one person. So specific people. And then when we have that selected, you see now a border around it. So that means it's selected. And then we apply that. Okay. Once we apply it, now we put in who the heck we're talking about. So user1@cengage.com. And then again verify. So U1 with a capital U, no space after R, no space after 1 @cengage.com. So that's spelled correctly. Okay. And here you see the comma, but the comma is after that little space, which is in the dark gray, meaning the comma is not included. All right, so now we click this because we got to put a message. So we click it, and then we want to add a message, and we say, please approve for distribution. And make sure you spell it right. So please with a capital P, approve for distribution. Send it. Okay? All right, so this is number 4 on module 4. So here, assign the defined name sales 2020 to range C5 to C13. Assign the defined name to that range. So C5 to C13 is our range. So that. Okay, this is sales for the year 2020, and that's what they're wanting. So they're going to have a range called this, sales 2020. So that way, if you click from the name box and you click on sales 2020, it would then pop up with all these things selected that I just selected. Okay, because they're having us. It's not done yet. They want us to create it. So assign the defined name that. So we have to then go to, this is a formula, so you go to your formulas tab. Remember, you get this by doing your training, so just do your training and you know about formulas in lessons 1, 2, and 3. So assign the defined name. So here's defined names in the formulas bar. And I want sales 2020 to that range. The range is there, C5 to C13. Assign. So here, okay, define the name and then assign the defined name. Assign. Here's defined, and here it's defined. There, it seems like they're saying this one already exists, but if it exists, it's over here, and it's not there. So it's not there. So I'm going to say define a name. So define name, and it's going to be called Sales 2020, capital S. Oops. Looks like it's in there. Sales 2020. Okay, so name Sales 2020 to the range C5 to C13. You may say C5 is not selected, but see the green border on the left, green border on the right, and you can't see the green border much, but on that blue edge, there's also a green border. So it is selected. When you select a bunch of cells, the first one never appears to be selected unless you look at like the border area, but it is selected. All right, and it also tells you here it's C5 to C13. So C5 to C13. All right, so say okay, done. Last one. Create defined names for range A4 to E18 using the create from selection command. Use the titles in the top row. This is the top row. So these, we're going to be creating these as names. Okay. Create defined name for the range A4 to E18. So click A4 and then drag over to E18. So we stop at the end of years. So again, you can see the border. And the border covers client ID. So that'll be a defined name. Name, that'll be a defined name. First, that'll be a defined name. Class, that'll be a defined name. And years. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're creating 5 defined names here. Okay. All right. So now what do? Let's see. So we selected A4 to E. Oh, it's not right. It's E18, meaning way down here. So A4, got to go to the bottom. Thank God I looked. Okay. So A4 to E18. Now they're all selected. Okay. So that's done. Now I want to use, so now I have to create the defined name. So again, I go to formulas. And here, okay, create from selection in defined name. So create from selection, right? So using create from selection, and then that's this thing. And they're telling us select the year's range from the name box. So year, no, it's not right. Create defined name for A4 to E18. We did A4, we did down to E18. We did it. Using the create from selection. That's what we clicked, create from selection. Use the titles in the top row. Oh, top row. So it is, excuse me. So top row, okay, top row, yeah. So in other words, these have the titles that we want. But I don't think I checked that. I think it was already checked. I'm not positive now though. All right, so anyway, so that's done. And then select the years using the name box. So now I just say okay. Okay. So now these things should have been created. So if I click in this drop down box, it may tell me it's wrong, but I just want to check to see if they're there. Yeah, they're there. See, client ID, first, last name, and years. So they're there. And now they want me to, the last thing is select the year's range from the name, from the name box. So they want me to click on years in the name box. and it's done, and that's the years right there was showing. All right, so that was number 5, so we're done. That's all I can do for you guys. All right, so let me go over here, and then here. Okay, I hope this made sense, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. See you in class.